In the last couple of months, I have attended more than 50 different presentations, be it founders pitching their business ideas or my colleagues sharing the quarterly business reports. Now, let me share what I've noticed are the 7 biggest mistakes a lot of us make that robs us of the impact and the influence we can have on the audience. So with this video, my intention is that you walk away learning at least one actionable tip that you can implement the next time you're on stage speaking in front of a large audience. And I want you to be able to captivate everyone's attention. I want you to hold the mic and feel the power and the influence that you have when you're on stage. So let's start with the first mistake people make. It's the first impression. Now, why is first impression important? We humans are always judging everyone. When you clicked on this video, your brain unconsciously, subconsciously started picking me apart, picking everything you see in this video, and then putting some sort of idea behind who do you think I am? Am I a friend? Am I an enemy? Do I look like an expert in my field? You are always doing this unconsciously. It's human nature to do that. But what happens is when you're stepping on the stage and you're going to the center of the stage or to the podium or wherever you have to start your speech, even before you have said a word, the audience has already made up their mind of who they think you are. Are you a friend? Are you an enemy? Do they want to listen to you? Do they like you? Do they not like you? So it becomes really important that we present our best to have a good first impression, because if you lose the audience attention in the first couple of seconds, it's very hard to gain that attention back. And I'm sure you have something very important to say that you want the audience to listen to. So let me share quick, very easy 3-step formula to make sure you leave a great first impression even before you utter a single word. The formula is called C. So it stands for smile. Now, why smiling is important? Smiling makes you come across as a person who is a friend. Smiling is also contagious like yawning. So when you smile, when you're walking on the stage and you have a light, genuine smile on your face, people think, oh, okay, Shiv is a friend. He's smiling. He's not a threat. So the first thing I want you to do is just have a light, genuine smile in your face. You don't have to overdo it. Don't go like, don't do this. Smile with your eyes. So just the part under your eyes, the muscles there should contract when you smile. So it should build up for a couple of seconds as well. Make sense? Okay, so the next thing you want to do while you're walking before you have said a word is you want to have eye contact. Another big mistake people do is when they're walking on the stage, they walk like this. They're looking on the floor. Don't do that. When you're walking to the stage, on the stage, while you take that stance, look the audience in their eyes even before you have said a word. Make eye contact with them. What it does is it lets the audience know that you are confident enough to look people in their eyes. You're acknowledging everyone in that room. And it instantly builds rapport and it builds a connection. I'll give you a quick example. Focus on my eyes. For the next 10 seconds, I'm going to talk without looking in the camera. And even though you're not in front of me, you probably have already lost interest and that connection, because I'm not looking in the camera, I'm not looking at you. How do you feel now when I look in the camera? It makes you feel connected to me, even though you're not in front of me. So make sure when you're walking to the stage, have a genuine smile on your eyes and make eye contact with people. The third one is very important as well. Enthusiasm. Why having enthusiasm is important? It's very simple, guys. If you're not enthusiastic about your talk, about your speech, about your idea, about your business, why should anyone else be? If you go on stage, if you stand slouched, if you have no energy, if you have no enthusiasm about why you're on stage, the audience would not be listening to you. They will zone out automatically. So, how can you show enthusiasm without saying a word? Very simple. You stand up straight. You stand firm on your feet. You have that light, genuine smile on your eyes. You're making eye contact. All of this is showing that you are engaged, you are active, you are enthusiastic to be on the stage. So, let me recap. First impressions is the last impression. Make sure you make a best first impression by following a 3-step formula which is called C: smile, eye contact, and enthusiasm. The second mistake people make, which you don't want to make, is unintentional movement. What does it mean? Have you ever noticed yourself or somebody else who is on the stage, but while they are talking, they're just going for a walk? They can't stop moving. And it's fine. I'll tell you the reason why this happens, but this is how it sounds like. This is how it looks like, because they never stop walking. They never stop moving. How are you feeling right now when I start doing this and you're watching this video? It makes you feel uneasy. It tells you that I'm so nervous because I just cannot stop moving. I am constantly on the move. I'm taking a morning walk on the stage. Please don't do that. You do not want to come across as a person who is nervous. And when you're moving on stage like that, it is letting the audience know you are super nervous. Now, let me share why this happens. It's very common, first of all. The reason you're moving on stage is because when you are nervous, your body is actually producing a lot of adrenaline. And with the adrenaline, your body starts feeling restless because it has a lot of energy. So it is our response to fight or flight situations. Your body is preparing to either run away or be prepared to fight. But our body, whenever it is nervous, starts producing adrenaline. Your body starts having all that extra energy. And what happens is when you're on stage, because you have all that extra energy, you start to do that dance, you start to move around so much. The best way to get rid of that unintentional movement on stage is simply get rid of that extra energy before you step on stage. Simply just go for a quick walk in the room or in the backstage if you have one. Just walk off before you have to go on stage, and you can feel your heart starting to race. You can feel that nervous energy kicking in. Just walk off that extra energy. Get rid of it before you go on stage. Walk that off. So when you go on stage, you have gotten rid of that extra energy beforehand, and it will help you feel more calm. It will help you feel more grounded in that moment. Mistake number 3 is the microphone position. Okay, maybe I'll give you an example. Let's see if you can figure it out. And the mistake a lot of people start making, and I'm doing it right now, and I'm doing that mistake right at this second as I am speaking. If you did not pick that mistake up, it's fine. It took me a long time to figure this one out. The mistake I was making was, if you have a microphone, a handheld microphone, do not move that while you're talking. So, the voice in that room, in the auditorium, in the conference, in wherever you are, if you have a handheld mic, the speakers are projecting your voice. But if you move the mic away while you're talking and you start animating with your hand gesture, including the hand that has the mic, the speakers would not pick your volume, pick your voice, and the audience would not be able to listen every time the mic goes away from your mouth. So the easiest way, make sure if you move the microphone with you. Wherever your head is at, wherever your mouth is at, this should always be in the same direction and very close distance to your mouth. When you are using your hand gestures, only use one hand that doesn't have the microphone in it. Do not go like this, because if you do that, the microphone would not pick. So it's a very simple, very basic mistake a lot of people make. And this can instantly just disconnect the audience. So make sure always have the microphone in front of your mouth. Mistake number 4. Now, this only applies if you have slides and if there is a clicker. What is a clicker? Well, a clicker would look something, sorry about my handwriting by the way. A clicker looks something like this. It is used to change the slides without going to the laptop and manually clicking it. Now, the biggest mistake a lot of people make with the clicker is that they don't have any idea how it works. And I've been to so many presentations where a person would just click and the slides would go back, or they would click and the slides would go 2 slides forward. So what you can do is simply, before your speech, go to the team who handles the production, the event team, the production team, and ask them how does it work. Just familiarize yourself with the clicker. See which button to click to go to the next slide. See which one to click to go backwards. Just taking 30 seconds before your speech to get used to the clicker. Just getting used to how it works would save you so much of embarrassment that might happen while you're on stage and you're trying to change the slides and you're like, I don't know where that is going, and you have already changed it to the thank you slide while you wanted to go to the second slide. So make sure you know how to use a clicker. Make sure you are familiarizing yourself with the buttons, what button to click to do what action. Okay, so mistake number 5 is pauses. Why taking pauses is so important? Because when you take pause, it lets the audience digest what you have said and they will start processing what you're saying. Like how you are doing right now. You are processing my words. You just did it again. I understand when we are on stage, we get so excited or we get so nervous. We have a time limit sometimes that we need to stick to 5 minutes and we just want to rush through our words. We just want to finish everything as soon as possible. What we forget is that maybe we have practiced that speech 50 times, 100 times. But for the audience, it's their first time listening to it. So if you don't take pauses and if you just go very, very fast throughout the pitch, throughout the talk, the audience can't follow. Because they need time. They're listening it to the first time. They need time to digest what you're saying. Now, the easiest way to use the power of pauses is pause right before or right after making a big, important point. I'll give you an example. So if there is any one thing that I want you to walk away from this video, it will be taking pauses. Just like that. Did you notice what happened when I did that? You were able to follow and you were able to digest the information. Make sure, guys, this is a golden rule. Always be taking pauses where you share an important fact or a figure to let that sink in. Okay, so the 6th point is you want to ensure that you have some sort of audience engagement. Now, audience engagement comes in various different forms, various different styles. One of them, the basic one, if you're just a beginner and you want to get into using more of audience engagement to get the audience follow through, and not just follow through your talk, but be a part of it, is the simple activity called show of hands. I want you to do this as I'm speaking. Just raise your hand if you have ever seen a speaker saying this, raise your hand in a speech. Do it right now. Cool. Now raise your hand if you have been enjoying this video so far. Do it right now. The most important one, raise your hand if you're gonna hit that subscribe button down below. See how simple this is? And you can include any variation of this in your talk. Whatever that is. Just start by doing a quick show of hands, include a question, and make sure when you are doing this activity, the question should be a definitive yes or a no. It shouldn't be open-ended. What I mean is, raise your hand if you have done this. So the answer would be yes or no. If the answer is yes, people would raise it. If the answer is no, people would not raise their hand. It should be very clear what you're asking. Otherwise, the audience would get confused and they would not participate in the activity. So ask a singular question, raise your hand if dash, fill that dash. What this would do is it will make people engage in your talk. They have moved their hand. They feel like they're a part of that talk. So that's the basic one. I would be doing a complete video on audience engagement. There are so many fun activities that I've done in the past. I've seen other people doing it and I would love to share them with you in future. But for now, make sure you're doing the simplest version of it. Raise your hand if blank. Okay, we're coming to the end of this video. The 7th point that you want to remember is, this is very important. Prepare for the worst. Prepare for the worst. Don't prepare for the best. That's good. But prepare for the worst that could happen while you're on stage. I'll give you a few examples. I was on a stage once when my slides didn't work and it took a long time to get them fixed. Luckily, I've already prepared when I was doing the rehearsal that somehow maybe the slides don't work. How will I present the talk? I knew how to keep going even without relying or focusing on the slides, just because I have prepared for the worst. What would happen if you go and the microphone doesn't work? Are you going to go and ask the events team for a different microphone? Maybe there is no other mic and you have to be even more louder and you have to start moving in the audience to make sure everyone can listen. You might have to leave the stage. You have to prepare for the worst. What this would do is when these mishaps, when these challenges happen on stage, and trust me, they would happen on stage, you feel more prepared. The challenges or all of these setbacks don't derail your confidence. They don't make you lose focus on the bigger purpose of why you're on stage. So prepare for the worst. Think in advance what could go wrong and how would you react to that situation. Awesome guys, that were my top 7 tips. Let's quickly recap. The first one was the first impression matters. You follow a simple C formula, which is smile, eye contact, enthusiasm. Second thing is avoid unintentional movement, which means going for a morning walk on the stage. Don't always be moving. The reason we do this is because we have extra energy in our body. Get rid of that extra energy by walking before you go on stage. Third one, we learn that we need to be mindful of the microphone position if it is a handheld microphone. Always keep it in front of your mouth. If you're moving, move with it. Always have that in front of your mouth. Otherwise, people can't listen to you. And if they can't listen to you, you have lost them. Fourth is this bad boy called a clicker. Make sure that you know how to use this. So when you're on stage, you don't go like, how do I make this work? Very important. Number 5, taking pauses, just so the audience can follow through and then know what you're talking about. Number 6, show of hands. How many people remember number 6? It's the audience engagement. Include something like raise your hand if, to get people feel like a part of your talk. And the last one is prepare for the worst. What would happen if the slides don't work? What would happen if you trip while you're going on the stage? What would happen if one of the audience members asks you a difficult question? How would you handle that if you don't know the answer? Prepare for the worst, so when the worst happens, and it would, you feel confident. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you have hit that subscribe button and follow me for more videos. If you have a question, drop them down in the comment section, or you can even reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram. You can find me by searching Speak with Shiv. Until next time, I wish you all the best, and I hope that while you're on stage, you speak with confidence.